today with no other clones of myself. We'll see if anyone shows up later on in the video. And today we will be making coconut nut macaroon. Not macarons, macaroons. First you're gonna preheat your oven to 350. Then you're gonna take a baking sheet and parchment paper, and you're just gonna put the parchment paper on the baking sheet and set that off to the side. The first two things of prep you're gonna need to do are separate 3 eggs. So you're gonna need 3 egg whites, and to separate your egg, you're going to crack your egg over the bowl that you're going to put your egg white in, and you're just going to let the white fall out and into the bowl. And then to get rid of the rest of the white, you can either go between the 2 shells of the egg, but then you're more likely to break the yolk even though it's going to be a little bit cleaner on your hands, or you can just dump it out into your fingers and do it this way, which will get your hands messier, but it also will make it less likely for you to break your yolk. If you manage to not break your yolk, you can either get rid of it or save it for baking something else later. Now I'm just gonna do that with the other 2 eggs. Now you're just gonna beat that up until it starts to get a little bit foamy, so you wanna be pretty aggressive when you're mixing. So it's just like a little bit foamier and have some more bubbles in it than when you originally put the eggs in. The other piece of prep you're going to need to do is chop up your pistachios. So this is an optional step, but it adds a bit more crunch to your dessert. So you're going to need a 1/2 cup of chopped pistachios. So you want to cut and measure as you go. You don't want to just put 1/2 cup of pistachios that aren't chopped in and then cut that up, because that'll end up being less than 1/2 cup since there's more air when they're not all next to each other. So I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. And you just want to get them big enough so that they'll have crunch, but not too big that it's a whole pistachio still. So about that size. And then you're going to take your 1/2 cup measure and you're just going to fill it up until it gets all filled up. Once you finish that, you're just going to set that off to the side because you won't need it yet. Next, you're going to take your egg whites and you're going to add in 1 cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Then you're just going to whisk that all together until it gets all combined and there are no more lumps of sugar. Now you're going to add in 3 cups of shredded unsweetened coconut, because you've already added sugar. You don't need to have more sugar with your sweetened coconut. So that should be unsweetened. You're also going to add in a pinch of salt and that 1/2 cup of pistachios that you chopped up. Now you're going to switch to a spatula and you're just going to mix it all together until it's all combined and it's not too sticky, because the coconut should get in there. Now you're going to take your baking sheet and you're going to want to wet your hands since this is going to be sticky. Now with your wet hands, you're going to take little lumps of this dough, like 1 or 2 tablespoons, and you're just going to space them pretty far apart on the cookie sheet. You're going to want to keep wetting your hands every once in a while, and also you might fill up your first tray, in which case you should just go on to a second tray. In your preheated oven for about 15 minutes, just until they start to get a little bit brown on the outside. I'll see you when the first tray comes out. When your cookies are done, you can take them out of the oven, and you'll notice that the egg whites on the bottom spread out a bit, but they'll still taste good, so I'm just going to let that cool and put my other tray in the oven. I'll see you when those come out. And it's all. So I've let these cool for about 20 minutes, and you can see that the egg whites kind of separate from the rest of the coconut, but you can just either eat that and it'll still taste good, or you can just take it off of the rest of the cookie and just eat the coconutty part. So I'm going to take a bite. These are super easy to make, and if you don't like pistachios, you can just make it without pistachios and it'll still taste delicious. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. And hey, stop taking that! Wait, my fingers are all sticky. I can't. Haha!